everybody and welcome back to the channel where we're back with another speed drawing. Man, am I happy about these ones. I'm glad to see them back, though there aren't many of them left. And today we're doing Chopper from Star Wars Rebels, and obviously the Ahsoka series, and probably Ahsoka Season 2 and all that kind of thing, and Rogue One. He's in Rogue One for less than 10 seconds, but did you know that? He's in Rogue One. It's pretty cool. He's one of my favourite characters from Rebels, though mostly because of the later episodes where, even though he's chaotic and does horrible things to his crewmates, he also shows his caring side. It's one of those no one is allowed to hurt my crew but me kind of things, which is both very, very funny but also very, very sad at the same time. So let's get into some little comments and talk about Chopper, whose real name is C110P, so Chop, is one of three Tritagonists, oh my gosh, that's a weird name, of the animated television series Star Wars Rebels, alongside Sabine Wren and Zeb Orrelios. He also made his live-action debut in the second episode of the miniseries Ahsoka, Part 2 Toil and Trouble. He is an astromech owned by Hera Syndulla and is also her best friend, having been with her since she rescued him when he crash-landed during the Clone Wars. We also kind of believe that, if you remember, there's a clone called Chop, or Chopper, in, I think it's the episode where they find out that Stitch, I think it's Stitch, is the clone that's working with Hera, not Hera, the clone that's working with Ventress, one of the clone, like he's his subordinate. I think that made sense. But Chopper is a grumpy, sometimes selfish, and very old droid who, according to Dave Filoni, is the cat of the Ghost crew. Though lazy and selfish, he still cares about his friends and helps them out when they are in immediate danger. I do hate this kind of theory that cats are uncaring and selfish creatures. It's a sign. If you can look into psychology, cats are, like, if you don't like cats or if you negatively attribute things to cats, you don't particularly like women. Because most serial killers start off killing cats. That's a thing. So the fact that Dave Filoni says that Chopper is a cat makes me worry. But then again, Dave Filoni also has like a very negative view on, like, Sabine hasn't turned out the way, like, great. Satine's entire story is pretty bad, and when Mandalorian and Grogu, the film, comes out, there are rumors that Bo-Katan dies. If she does, I'm gonna fucking riot. He will have lost the last, like, nerve that he could have played with. It will be gone, because, like, all of his female characters just end up having horrible backstories or horrible things happen to them. Even Ahsoka to a certain degree, but Ashley Eckstein kind of, like, lives up to that. But oh my god, like, Ahsoka's, I think, the only one that kind of gets away with it, and oh god. Ugh. Anyway, due to his advanced age and lack of consistent maintenance, Chopper developed a sarcastic and cranky demeanour. While Chopper got on well with Hera, Kanan and Sabine, he had a fraught relationship with Ezra and Zeb, who he often plays tricks on. Chopper had a respectful relationship with Hera because she rescued him from a wrecked Y-wing. Chopper had a respectful relationship with Hera because she rescued him from a wrecked Y-wing during the Ryloth campaign and adopted him, giving him more attention than her estranged father Cham. Unlike other astromech droids such as R2, Chopper did not care about being loved by the organics he worked with and seemed to dislike other astromechs. While he was always cantankerous, stubborn and irritable, Chopper did have the crew's best interests in mind and would often help them during a problem, prompting his partners to forgive his personality quirks. He's also, let's be honest, a war criminal. Chopper also has a mischievous and psychopathic streak, hence war criminal, which led him to sometimes endanger both sentient beings and other droids. On one occasion, he nearly caused the death of Ezra by knocking him off of the Ghost in mid-air. Despite the incident, he showed no remorse and continued tossing jugs at him. Zeb suggested his personality flaws were due to a damaged logic circuit. Later, he ejected from an Imperial communications ship, launching himself harmlessly into space, but causing a group of stormtroopers to be sucked into the void with him. Chopper appeared to particularly dislike other droids and never hesitated to cause them harm, whether his mission called for it or not. On one occasion, he became jealous of the Imperial courier droid 264 and threw him out of the Ghosts in midair. He also knocked other Imperial droids into a sewer system and was in favour of destroying EXD-9 despite being under the impression that the infiltrator was a mere protocol droid. Despite his cantankerousness, Chopper was also capable of showing affection when it suited him. Despite their first hostile encounter, he grew fond of 3PO after the latter complimented him for his polite manners. In addition, Chopper also had a sense of team spirit and loyalty to his fellow rebels. On one occasion, his affection towards Kanan led him to join forces with Sabine, Zeb and Ezra on a mission to rescue him. On another occasion, he refused to leave Sabine behind and persuaded her estranged friends Ketsu Onyo to rescue her from her derelict shuttle before it exploded. Despite starting off on the wrong foot with Ezra, Chopper eventually developed a working, if somewhat uneasy, relationship with the young Jedi rebel. On one occasion, he rescued Ezra and Hondo from being killed by Asmorigan. While Chopper did not get on well with Zeb most of the time, Zeb still respected the astromech droid well enough to rescue him during a fraught mission to salvage medical supplies. At times, Chopper could also be selfish and once allowed his desire for a new droid leg to get him distracted on Horizon Base. While Chopper had no friends due to his selfish and cantankerous personality, Chopper earned a friend in the form of protocol droid AP-5. AP-5 came to regard Chopper as a friend after Chopper freed him from his restraining bolt, thus giving him the will to overcome his programming and to rebel against his Imperial superiors. Working together, the two droids hijacked an Imperial cargo ship and managed to find a safe world for the rebellion to establish a base. Due to his experience of crash landing in a Y-wing, Chopper had a fear of the starfighters and refused to get in one even several years after the Clone Wars. Chopper and AP-5 shared a grumpy outlook and a rigid adherence to schedules. Chopper once suggested that Sabine needed a change in attitude when she remarked that he and AP-5 came from the same assembly line. Chopper's pride in his technical and repair skills once led him to fight with R3, who was equally territorial and protective of his ship, Sato's Hammer. Still, the two bonded after working together to remove a Magnum mine from the Iron Squadron's ship. Chopper's laziness led him to opt out of helping AP-5 catalogue the munitions inventory. Later, he attempted to opt out of helping Zeb inspect a damaged sensor beacon in Sector 6. Still, Chopper was smart enough to choose between the lighter of two chores. Chopper's unfriendly nature led him to object to Zeb adopting the stray droid EXD-9, who turned out to be an Imperial infiltrator droid. Despite his uneasy relationship with Zeb, Chopper had enough sense of team spirit to help his comrade fight off EXD-9. Chopper's nature once led him to argue with AP-5 during a mission to steal clearance codes from an ISB base on Killen 71. He resented the fact that AP-5 was given the mission ahead of him. Chopper was also known to sulk when things did not go his way. He was unable to resist Imperial programming and almost killed his comrades on one occasion. However, Chopper's rebel comrades managed to save him from himself and remove the Imperial programming. After realising that he had pushed AP-5 into space, Chopper was apologetic. However, he was insulted when AP-5 sarcastically did not accept his apology and stuck him and Antilles in... He was insulted when AP-5 sarcastically did not accept his apology and struck him and Antilles in frustration. Despite his uneasy relationship with Ezra, Chopper beeped in agreement when Ezra told Clan Ren they would be returning to Antlion if the clan was unable to render the rebels assistance. So he's an overall very interesting character. It's been great to talk about him. As I said, he is one of my favourites. Still think R2-D2's up there though, because R2-D2 is more of a bitch than Chopper is. Some people would argue with me about that, but when you realise that R2-D2 is the reason that the entirety of the Star Wars trilogy happened, he's a bitch. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, have fun, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.